Lane 6, Mad Hunters. 1 minute. On lane 7, 962 Avengers. On lane 8, CrossFit Kind. And on lane 9, CrossFit TLV. We have reshuffled the heats after yesterday's competition, so these teams are your teams from 21st to 30th place after 1 day of competition. 30 seconds.
I probably died trying to defuse 2 hours.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Yeah.
Here we go, kicking day 2 off, team event number 3. 3 rounds of calories on the assault bike and 21-15, 9 deadlifts for the first pair. So the teams are working in male-female pairs. For the first pair, 30 calories on the assault bike for the men and 20 for the female athlete, followed by 21 deadlifts. Second round, 30-20, 15 deadlifts. Third one, 30-20 again, and 9 deadlifts. These deadlifts will be performed with 1 barbell, so they will be partner deadlifts. And the weight on that bar is 440 pounds, which is approximately 200 kilograms. Once the first pair is done, the second pair will take the field and they will have to perform 90 calories and 60 calories, so 90 for the men and 60 for the female athlete, followed by 45 deadlifts. As we have the first team off the assault bikes, it is team 21-15-9 on lane 4.
Ya tenemos al equipo vasco empezando los pesos muertos. Tendrá que completar 21 pesos muertos. La pareja compuesta por Arcaiz Gutiérrez y Valentina Ranglán.
The teams will again advance their bar in this first round after every set of 7 repetitions. On the second round, the advancement will be made every 5 reps, and on that last round, every 3 repetitions.
La pareja de la calle 5 de CrossFit Minimes le sigue muy de cerca el equipo de 21-15-9.
For these deadlift reps to count, the bar must start from the floor, and both of the athletes must reach full extension of the knees and the hips with their shoulders behind the bar at the top. Only a conventional deadlift is allowed, so hands must be outside of the legs, and the athletes are not allowed to cross their arms when they grip the bar.
Click, 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 click. As I look around, they don't do it like my click, 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 click. And all these bad, bad men, they wonder, oh God. I tell a bad bitch, do whatever I say. My block behind me like I'm.
So all of the teams in this heat done with that first round, 21 repetitions and 30 calories. CrossFit Minimes on lane 5 was the first team back on those bikes, but 21-15-9 team on lane 4 has a judge's hand up in the air.
killing everything that they see but a duck. Click, 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 click. Ain't nobody fresher than my mom. Click, 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 click. As I look around, they don't do it like my click, 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 click.
And he's going to be lane 5, CrossFit Minimes, the first pair back to the bar for the second time for 15 deadlifts, advancing the bar every set of 5.
And now I'm talking me, yeah, I'm talking boss. I ain't talking police. Your money too short, you can't be talking to me. Yeah, I'm talking LeBron. We ballin' our family tree. Good music, drug dealing, cousin, and nothing in the week. Me, turn that 62 to 125, 125 to a 250, 250 to a half a man. Ain't nothing nobody can do with me. Now who with me? Dominoes, call me home, go Hefe. Translation, I'm the least that's my neck say. Least that's my check say. Lost my homie for a decade. Bring it down for like 12 years.
Se mantienen adelantados el equipo de 21-15-9 en la calle número 4, a la vez que CrossFit Minimes le sigue muy de cerca el equipo de la calle número 3 de Lavi y la calle número 7, 962 Avengers.
The event record, the world record for this team, event number 3, is held by OC3 Black from the Central Regional at 13 minutes and 40 seconds. And they had their first pair done with their portion of this event in 7 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah, I'm talking business, we talking CIA, I'm talking George Tenet, I seen him the other day. He asked me about my Maybach, think he had the same, except my tenant and his might have been rented. You know white people get money, don't spend it, or maybe they get money by business. I'd rather buy 80 gold chains and go ignorant. I know Spike Lee gon' kill me, but let me finish. Layman on the picnic, we living up.
Aún queda evento por delante, estamos en la primera parte, la primera pareja, después tendrán que dar paso a la segunda pareja que tendrá que hacer 90 calorías de assault bike, él 60 la chica y 45 pesos muertos. Recordamos que son 440 libras, 200 kilos de peso muerto.
The time cap for this event number 3 on the team side of the competition is 17 minutes. And we've just passed the 7-minute mark, so still 10 more minutes to go here.
Ain't nobody fresher than my mom click. All day, all day. All day, all day. How long you spar? All day, all day. How much time you spend?
Vamos a ver cuál.
All day, all day.
Efectivamente, 21-15-9 sale en primera posición.
How long they keep you in the car? All day, all day. Take you to get this fly. All day, all day. Tell your video how long you been. All day, all day.
Battle for first place here in this heat 1 is between 21-15-9 team on lane 4 and CrossFit Minimes on lane 5. As they're getting ready to finish their first pair here, they need to touch the cone after their last deadlift to release that second pair out of the gates and onto those assault bikes. And here they go, 21-15-9, the first team to get the second pair out. And they will have to go for 90 calories for the male and 60 calories for the female.
Acaba de finalizar también CrossFit Minimes en la calle número 5, el equipo que iba igualado, casi igualado con el 21-15-9.
All day, all
Ahora la segunda pareja tendrá que completar 60 calorías en assault bike ella, 90 calorías él y 45 pesos muertos sincronizados con 200 kilos.
24/7, 365 days, everybody getting paid. Yeah, looking at me like I'm worth both MJs. Shout out PJ, BJ, shout out B-Boy for the free base. These days, don't believe what we say. DJs and the B-Boys, Friday. Only way I can sum it down, sound that.
I took a young sweet breath and I reached into my earth. Gave him what I had left. That moment I dispersed. That moment I dispersed. All day, all day. How long you ball? All day, all day. How much time you spend at the mall? All day, all day. How long it take you to get me fly? All day, all day. Take your POI, how long you been? All day, all day. Post some here, no, for my that died. All day, and I keep a bad on the passenger side. All day.
So the amount of reps that these pairs will perform is the same for both pairs,
All day. I can do this all
but
day.
these two portions are completely different,
Any day in the streets, boy. It been a month.
and the team has to find a strategy that will allow them to use
Like a light-skinned slave boy. We
the strengths of their athletes here.
right now. Looking real sunshine now. Swear I've been on the fly. Like, I'm off right now. She looking get money for his gun right now. Shout out to Jackie Chan, I need to stun right now. They be looking at the gram, I be looking at the Grammys.
Creemos que es el momento de ofrecer datos curiosos. Con un time cap de 17 minutos, el world record de este evento lo tiene OC3 Black de los Central Regionals con 13 minutos y 40 segundos. Y este evento, en lo que llevamos de regionales en 2 semanas, lo han podido completar 49 equipos de 176.
21:15.9, their male athlete coming up on 60 calories as the female athlete is coming up on 35. Lane 5, CrossFit Minimes, the female athlete just past 37 calories and the male athlete is at 47. With these two teams leading the way here after the first pair was completed, lanes 4 and 5. Lane number 5, CrossFit Minimes, female athlete coming up on 53 calories, and the male athlete is at 68. 21:15.9, the male athlete already done with 84 calories as the female athlete has 10 more to go.
Ahora mismo la pareja de CrossFit Minimes, la chica tiene la mano levantada, últimas calorías, y en el equipo de 21-15-9 el miembro masculino está en sus últimas calorías.
Lane number 4, 21:15.9 team, looking to be the first team off those assault air bikes with this second pair, excuse me. And lane 4, 21:15.9 will be the first team off. They were your leaders coming from that first pair. But CrossFit Minimes, lane number 5, not far behind. Their male athlete, only a few more calories to go.
La pareja compuesta por Pablo Cazalis y Ego Alvarado comienzan sus primeras 9 repeticiones de peso muerto sincronizado, 200 kilos, 440 libras.
For these 45 deadlifts, the teams will advance that bar every set of 9. So 9 repetitions at each station. We're shortly coming up on 15 minutes here in this heat number 1. Time cap is 17 minutes.
Esta es la parte más importante de este evento, de este WOD. Aquí es donde se decide todo. Los últimos pesos muertos, los últimos 45 pesos muertos. Vamos a animar al equipo de 21-15-9 que nos representa.
Twenty-one 15-9 on lane 4, done with their first 2 sets, and now they're working on that 3rd set of 9. And 962 Avengers on lane 7, trying to catch up with them as well here. They're already done with 2 sets of 9. One minute to go.
Último minuto, chicos. Pablo, coge la barra.
$30 seconds to go. 21-15-19, lane 4 still leading the way. 20 seconds to go.
10 segundos, chicos.
10 seconds.
Vamos a hacer ruido a estos equipos.
3, 2, 1. And it looks like it was team 21-15-9 taking the heat.
Okay, shut up. I buy my own things. I pay my own bills. These diamond rings, my automobiles.
40 deadlifts for 21-15-9 team, only 5 short of the entire amount that they were supposed to do. 10 seconds. Stand by. And here we go. The score to be here was set by 21-15-9 team in that previous heat at 40 repetitions on that deadlift for the second pair. That is the score to be for these athletes here that they're trying to chase.
Como ya os hemos dicho antes, el World Record, el Event Record de este evento número 3 lo tiene OC3 Black en los Central Regionals con 13 minutos y 40 segundos. Y el tie break, la primera parte, la primera pareja, el tiempo récord lo finalizó en 7 minutos y 12 segundos. Tenemos que decir que también tenemos dos equipos representando en este hit, Canarias Team en la calle número 4 y CrossFit Las Rozas en la calle número 5.
It is going to be beers, cheese, and red wine, the first team off those assault bikes on lane number 2. And they're making quick work of these deadlifts right here. And again, ladies and gentlemen, every 7 repetitions, the athletes will advance that barbell for this first pair on the first round. Lane number 2, beers, cheese, and red wine, finishing up their first round of the deadlifts on lane 2. But on lane 5, CrossFit Las Rozas trying to chase them down. They're holding on to the second spot in the heat right now. And it is going to be Tonga, the third team off the deadlifts. So leading the way after one round, beers, cheese, and red wine. Second place, CrossFit Las Rozas, and third place in the heat, Tonga. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now joining us, this is team event number 3 here at the Meridian Regional in Madrid, Spain. These teams will work through 2 portions of the event. First portion will be a male-female pair going through 3 rounds. Each round they will perform 30 calories on the assault bike for the men and 20 for the females. And then a decreasing amount of deadlifts. For first round is 21, second is 15, and the third round is 9 deadlifts. The deadlifts weigh 200 kilograms. Once that first pair is completed, then the second pair will take the floor and they will perform 90 calories for the men on the assault bike, 60 for the female athlete, followed by 45 deadlifts with the same weight. And these deadlifts are partner deadlifts, so the athletes will be working with 1 bar. And now lane 5, CrossFit Las Rozas, first team back on the bar for their set of 15 deadlifts.
Tenemos que decir que a pesar de ser un evento WOD de 17 minutos, es muy espectacular y trepidante. En todo momento tenemos claro qué parejas van adelantadas y en este caso tenemos al equipo nacional de CrossFit Las Rozas empatado en repeticiones con la calle número 2, Beer, Cheese and Red Wine. De hecho, si no me equivoco,
the world record for this event was set by OC3 Black at the Central Regional at 13 minutes and 40 seconds. And their first pair was done with their portion of the event at 7 minutes and 20 seconds. As again, we have several teams back on those assault bikes. Lane 2, beer, cheese, and red wine. CrossFit Las Rozas, lane 5, and Full Space Sharks have now taken the 3rd spot in the heat.
Tenemos el Canarias Team en la calle número 4 que también están adelantando posiciones. Kaizen CrossFit Lyon también se dirige a la Assault Bike.
So this will be the last round for this first pair. Again, 30 calories for the men on the bike, 20 for the female athlete, and then they will have to perform the final 9 repetitions of the deadlift. As the two athletes touch the cone in the middle of the floor, that will mean that the judge will release the second pair from that start mat onto the floor.
Como ya os he dicho antes, el récord del evento lo tiene OC3 Black y estaría justo ahora, 7 minutos y 12 segundos, terminando los últimos pesos muertos y dando paso a la segunda pareja.
Lane number 5, CrossFit Las Rosas, almost ready with their last assault bike calories. But Full Space Sharks on lane 7 also getting ready to finish. But it's CrossFit Las Rosas on lane 5 taking on those deadlifts for the final time. 9 reps to go for them, but Full Space Sharks has now put themselves into the second spot. Lane number 7, Full Space Sharks, looks like they're going to be the first team to release that second pair, and they do that right now. And now Las Rosas also.
Ya tenemos a las segundas parejas en la calle número 5, CrossFit Las Rozas. También Full Space Sharks en la calle número 7. Y en la calle número 4, Canarias Team.
After that first pair, Full Space Sharks are leading the way. CrossFit Las Rosas is holding on to the second place. Full Space Sharks, lane 7, their male athlete at 25 calories, the female athlete at 22. CrossFit Las Rosas, lane number 5, male athlete at 28 calories and the female at 22. Lane number 2, Beers, Cheese, and Red Wine, male athlete at 38 calories and the female at 27. The male athlete has to complete 90 calories and the female 60 calories before they can advance to those 45 deadlifts. Fall Space Sharks, lane number 7, male athlete at 52 calories, and the female athlete coming up on 38. CrossFit Las Rosas, the male athlete has 55 calories done, and the females just broke the 40 calorie mark, so 20 to go for her.
Mientras la segunda pareja se da el paseíto en la Assault Bike, vemos cómo las otras parejas les animan y les van dictando cómo tienen que actuar.
Lane number 7, Fall Space Sharks, was leading the way after that first pair. And their male athlete is now coming up on 80 calories, and the female, she only has 4 more calories to go. Lane number 2, beer, cheese, and red wine. Female athlete, only 1 more calorie to go. And the male athlete also only 7 more calories for him. But it looks like it might be CrossFit Las Rosas, lane 5, to be first off those bikes.
Please step back, it's my style, you're cramping. You here for long, oh no, I'm just passing. Do you
This female athlete still has 1 more calorie to go. It is going to be beer, cheese, and red wine. The first team off the assault bikes on this second portion of this event number 3.
You can throw shapes together, but it doesn't mean you're in my circle.
So lane number 2, beer, cheese, and red wine, leading the way here in this heat 2.
Ya tenemos al equipo de Canarias Team también en las primeras repeticiones del peso muerto de la segunda pareja, pero el equipo de CrossFit Las Rozas va por delante. En primer lugar, si no me equivoco, tenemos en la calle número 2 a Beers, Cheese and Red Wine.
40 repetitions on the deadlift is the score to beat, so if any of these teams are able to finish, they will set the new score to beat or the time to beat here in this team event number 3. Bars advanced every 9 repetitions.
2 minutos para el time cap.
Lane number 6, CrossFit Alliant, has been steadily catching up with the other teams, and they're trying to make a little push here towards the end. They're on lane number 6, but still beer, cheese, and red wine leading the way on lane 2. Lane number 2, beer, cheese, and red wine on their last 9 repetitions as we have less than a minute to go. They might be the first team here to finish.
Estamos a 45 minutos, perdón, 45 segundos del final.
A few more reps to go for beer, cheese, and red wine as we have 30 seconds remaining. 2 more reps to go for beer, cheese, and red wine. Lane 1 more for them. And they will take the heat at 16:43 unofficially. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And that does it. We have our first team finishing this event, and it is beers, cheese, and red wine.
Welcome back to Madrid, Spain, as our coverage continues for day number 2 of the teams at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Meridian Regional. Brandon Domain, Mads Jakobsen, and Nikki Brazier with you here at Caja Mágica, where on the team side of things after day number 1, the story is how close the race is for those final 3 spots, where 30 points separate second from 10th.
There are a lot of teams out there looking to make a move today. We talked to them yesterday, and they really, really want to make a move. They want to step up, and they want to chase down Cape CrossFit.
So Cape CrossFit win in event number 1, win in event number 2. They're at a perfect 200 points entering this third event. CrossFit PBM Unite, CrossFit Riviera, and Team Crash currently hold the last 3 of those 4 spots.
And CrossFit Valley Road and Galileo had great starts yesterday, great introduction onto the field, but their ending of the events was a little bit weaker. They're looking to remedy that today.
And their first shot to do that will be here in what might be the nastiest event of the weekend for the teams.
Event number 3, we'll see a male and female pair do 3 rounds of 30, respectively 20 calories on the assault bike, 21:15.9s of partner deadlifts with an unevenly loaded bar. Then onto a male-female pair that'll do 1 round of 90, respectively 60 calories on the assault bike, onto 45 partner deadlifts with the unevenly loaded bar that has a 440-pound weight on it. The time cap is 17 minutes.
And our next 10 teams will be in heat number 3. The points leaders, Cape CrossFit Wolfpack, will be in lane number 5. Entering today, the bubble team, Team Crash, will be in lane 7. First team out, Galileo, will be in lane number 3.
And we've seen the crowds are pretty fired up, and they've been pretty vocal about the fact that they want the French teams to do well, and so the Spanish as well.
Stand by.
Underway for our top 10 teams entering day number 2. The time to beat, in fact, only 1 time has been recorded. We've had 1 finisher in our first 2 heats, 16 minutes, 43 seconds for beer, cheese, and red wine.
Well, so there are a couple of things that I think these teams need to think about if they want to have a successful outing in this event. There are a lot of moving parts, but what I really want them to do is, first of all, pace the assault bike. Don't go out there and burn all you've got on the assault bike, finding yourself in trouble on the deadlift, which makes it harder to get that synchronization and that communication going. Also, I want to see fast reps on the deadlifts. The more time under tension, the more your grip's going to get really fatigued. Once you start getting fatigued that way, you start falling into your own pace, and you'll find yourself in trouble again. The last thing is communication. I know that these teams have a game plan coming into this, but I want them to be able to communicate throughout the entire event so that they can, any adjustments that need to be made, if you want to rest even more, or if both of them have a little bit extra left, go a couple of more reps.
On the bike portion, we're typically seeing the female athlete finish a little bit quicker than the male athlete, as the male athlete having to do 30 calories on these 3-round portion of it, and the female athlete doing 20 calories. And onto the bar for our point leaders, Cape CrossFit Wolfpack in the red shirts. And they said it a day ago that event number 1 was their weak event. They won that one, and they've kind of held serve since then with 2 wins thus far.
Well, they sure have, and it's not just that they had a good outing. It's how they executed as well. They went out there and they were great as a team. Great communication, great way of sticking to the game plan as well. And they weren't really fazed by anybody else. I like that, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they can hold on to that in a slightly different event today.
Now you'll notice they rolled the bar forward. That will happen every time they complete a third of the round that they are working on with the deadlifts here in the 3-round portion. So in the round of 21, every 7 reps, that bar will be moved forward.
And what they need to do is they need to make sure that they initiate this deadlift at the same time. If anybody gets off to an early start, it just gets incredibly heavy on the other part. And not just lifting it off the ground, you also get a little bit of torque in the lower back, and that's something you really want to avoid.
Here for CrossFit Galileo a moment ago, we saw those reps kind of get better as they went. It seemed like they were a little out of sequence, where you saw the female athlete kind of have that dead stop for a second while the male athlete was bouncing it, not bouncing it with like the bent arms, which you know where I'm getting at. What leads to that, and how did they kind of clean that up that quick?
Usually what happens is that you're super enthusiastic, you're fired up, you get out there on the floor and you miss the count just a little bit, you're not quite in sync. But after that, as soon as you get it off the ground, as soon as you start lowering it, it's easier lowering it in the same pace, and that will give you a better setup as well.
3 minutes in, we've got 8 of our 10 teams already back onto the assault bikes in round number 2.
You're going to see a couple of different strategies or just how people go about doing the assault bike. What I'd like to see in a perfect world is not too much of a lean forward. I'd like to see you sit up just a little bit more so it doesn't inhibit your breathing. I'd also like to see you utilize your arms. A lot of people just kind of, either push or they pull just a little bit, but I want to see it get going.
There's the fan club for CrossFit 77 Feet, and they've been perhaps the most vocal of the crowds all weekend long thus far.
And we talked about it just a second ago, that there are a lot of these crowds, as soon as their teams make it onto the floor, this turns into a folk fest. It's beautiful to see, and they just don't care where the team is at. Of course they want them to do well, but they're supported no matter what.
There's a judge's hand up for the female athlete on the bike for 77 feet in the white shirts on the left side of the screen. Maybe getting a little bit of that adrenaline boost from their crowd here.
If I had a crowd like this with me, I'd be going pretty hard as well.
So the interesting thing about this event is everybody's doing the same work in the end. Male athletes are going to do 90 calories on the assault bike, female athletes 60. Everybody's going to have 45 partner deadlifts. It's really that pick your poison style. How do you go about determining that?
Well, I think what I'd like to see is to have the person most comfortable with the deadlift, or the people most comfortable with the deadlift, going for 90. Just because you are going to see a lot of fatigue, and as fatigue sets in, technique deteriorates, and it just gets a lot heavier really, really, really fast. So I'd really like to see the people most comfortable with the deadlifts in the later portion of the event, and then have people with a bit more sprint to their assault bike in the earlier parts.
Now, one of the teams you pointed out that has been very good about starting quick in events, but they've had issues with closing it out, is CrossFit Valley Road. They entered today in the 6th position, 8 points out of the top 4, which will advance to Madison. And here they are out in front, making their way back to the assault bike for the 3rd and final time.
Exactly. Yesterday we saw them with great starts, and we were kind of looking at them going, this could turn out to be a really good fight. We could see them challenging Cape CrossFit, but they had a little bit of a challenge in the end, the later stages of the events. If they can sort that out, and you know that they've been talking about it last night, they're going to be, they're still within striking distance, and they can be a contender as well.
Second place, about 15 seconds back, will be CrossFit Take Control, also on one of those top lanes there. They are on the right side of the screen. And the real interesting thing about this event is you can see a 15-20 second lead disappear very quickly when you transfer from the first group to the second group, because those 90 and 60 calorie intervals is a long distance.
Well, absolutely. And even still within the initial part of the one, you're going 10-1, 15-9, if you burn out and you find yourself no repping or just resting a little bit, I mean, it's so close. You're going to see somebody drive right by.
We saw the male athlete here for CrossFit Take Control go into that sprint early. He's going to go again. It's almost like he's doing a Tabata style, like 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, but he looks very uncomfortable when he takes these breathers.
I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't had the pleasure of talking to this young man. I would like to hear what his thoughts are, but you see a lot of people get out there and they do an initial sprint, and I get that. I mean, get out there, get a couple of calories going, burn some ATP, and then get back out there for the deadlifts, absolutely. But usually you don't see people then getting back into it and sprinting again, like you're saying right now, like Tabata style. And I think it would serve him well to go out there and go for a 7-second sprint, 5 to 7, maybe all the way up to 8-second sprint, but then afterwards settling in. Because right now, I mean, he's fatiguing himself a lot.
Judges' hands up in lane number 8 for both athletes out of CrossFit Valley Road. And one of 3 South African teams in our final heat is leading the way, as it has been a good weekend thus far. 4 teams out of South Africa. They have the 1 and 2 spots in the point standings, and here in this heat, they are out in front. As it's Port Elizabeth's CrossFit Valley Road onto the round of 9.
Oh, they're doing great. They're doing a really, really good job.
Nobody else has made their way off the bike until right now, which in lane number 1, the very near side of the screen, CrossFit Norte Redondela. At 7:56, the touch is made for CrossFit Valley Road, and they'll tag in their partners who will start the 1-round portion of this event.
And a little bit of a challenge there with the seat. I'd like to see the male athlete get on there now and just go into an all-out sprint, like I said, for about 7-8 seconds maybe, and then settling into his speed.
21 seconds back will be our second place team. 23 seconds back will be third place. In second, it's Norte Redondela. In third, CrossFit Take Control. But it will be a decent lead going into our second pairing for CrossFit Valley Road.
It is a great lead, but as you alluded to a little bit earlier, I mean, there's a lot of time to be made up on the assault bike, and if you have anybody out there who's really comfortable with it, they can catch that pretty fast. So basically, what I'm trying to get, the point I'm trying to make here is that the Valley Road team can't relax at all. They need to go out there and still throw down and manage this lead that was built up in the initial part of the event.
Now, we saw it in the first couple of heats that there was a lot of athletes that they spent a lot of time. And yes, you're in the staging area for a good 5-10 minutes before you come out here. And then if you're in the second pairing, you're standing there for 9-10 minutes waiting to go. You get onto that assault bike, and it almost seems like the adrenaline gets people going a little bit faster than they want.
Oh, it does, and not just that. I mean, just the being at regionals. If you haven't been here before, having the crowd this close, they're really, really verbal. They're fired up. And then also, if you see your teammates out here on the 21:15.9 portion of the event doing so good, you want to go out there and do them justice. So it's easy to start with a sprint and maintain that sprint for a bit longer than maybe you want to. So the athletes right here from Norte Redondela, they're doing good. I mean, I like the technique. I like what I'm seeing right now. They look like they have a good plan. And what you find a lot of these athletes doing is that they'll have an internal count. They know that if they go for 3 or 4 or 5 pulls or pushes or whatever it is they want, then that will give them a calorie. And so instead of just getting all sucked into the display, going, oh, this is hard, how long have I been on here? They're just counting in their head, focusing on their breathing. I think that's smart.
CrossFit 77 feet.
Here in one shot, you're getting a look at the 2 different styles that you were talking about earlier about your body positioning.
Exactly, and I mean, the male athlete is sitting up a little bit more. He's using his arms really well, both pushing and pulling, just making the entire task a lot easier for him. Female athlete, a little bit more forward inclination, which makes it a little bit harder to breathe because you compress. I mean, she's even wearing a belt. It hasn't tightened up yet, but she's compressing her lungs a little bit. Oh, obviously, she's used to this, so I can't, once again, I'm going to stress this all weekend long. It's not necessarily wrong if it's something that you've always done, don't change it. But once you get back home, start playing around a little bit with positioning.
6 minutes away from our 17-minute time cap. Every team has made it through pairing number 1. So the 3-round portion of this event, 30 calories for the men, 20 calories for the women, 21:15.9 on the deadlifts, that is in the books. Here we're into the singular round version for the second pair, 90 calories for the male athlete, 60 for the female athlete, and then 45 deadlifts in one chunk to close out the event.
And what I'd like to kind of bring your attention to is once they make it onto the deadlift. So they're sitting right now, setting themselves up for success, either trying to catch up on a deficit or managing the lead that they have. But when they make it to the deadlift, start looking at whether they bent their legs or not. As soon as you start getting tired in the deadlift, and especially in a partner deadlift, you're going to see people just kind of folding at the hip and not using their legs. And once they start doing that, you're leaving all the work to the lower back. That's what you do not want to do.
Only number 1, CrossFit Norte Redondela, male athlete at 70 calories now, the female at 47.
Judge's hand in the air for the male athlete out of CrossFit Valley Road. And he'll be getting through 90 calories in about 4.5 minutes.
That's a good job. And not just that, look at him, he looks fresh.
And you know what, I'll say it's about 4 minutes, because you think about the transition time, adjusting the seat, that is a solid pace of about 22 calories a minute.
It is. And it's a lot of people have, I mean, it's a challenging piece of equipment, there's no doubt about it, but the more time you spend on it, you can kind of start making it work in your advantage.
12 minutes, 31 seconds off the bike and to the bar. 45 reps. They'll advance it every 9.
The big challenge for this couple is going to be the height difference. How do they negotiate that?
They're going to break it up. It looks like they're going to go with a 5-4 strategy, get one past halfway.
I mean, they're looking good, but they're still pretty fresh. Let's see what it looks like when we get a little bit further in. And they're doing really good at making sure that the height differential isn't going to be an issue to them.
So a 21-second lead has become a 25-second lead hopping off the bike. But Norte Redondela is working through these deadlifts at a much quicker rate.
What was it Prefontaine said? There's only one speed, there's only one speed, and it's suicide speed. And today's a good day to die. I just hope these guys aren't going to go too fast to start with, find themselves in trouble later on. But they do look really, really strong, though.
Third place will be CrossFit Take Control in lane number 9 in the gray shirts. But the lead race will be between Valley Road and Norte Redondela. Valley Road continuing to hold only a slim lead of about 5 or 6 reps.
And this is when you start thinking as a team, should we be going faster? But considering the synchronization in Valley Road right now, the answer would be no to me. Don't get sucked into the deep end of the pool by Norte Redondela.
Valley Road on the left, Norte Redondela on the right. The time to beat 16:43. That's still 2 minutes, 20 seconds away. Both of these teams are within 20 reps of getting there, as it looks like whoever will take this heat will take the event.
And Norte really pushing the envelope. You can see their crowd's pretty happy about that.
3 reps, 4 reps, the differential between first and second. Norte Redondela is marching that bar towards their supporter section. And that's got to be a good little adrenaline boost. But they're going to still have to make up a few reps. And we're getting to the point where we're about running out of time. 2 minutes until the time cap. Both teams within 14 reps of completing the event. Keep an eye on lane number 3, by the way, as CrossFit Galileo has been moving this bar very quickly on the deadlifts. They might be sneaking up on the field, but they just got hit by a no rep, and that might slow them down. Final 9 reps for Valley Road. Final 9 reps for Norte Redondela. And that 25-second interval coming off the bike might be needing every single second for Valley Road. I believe that's 3 to go for Valley Road. Should be 4 to go for Norte Redondela. Both teams onto the bar at the same time. Valley Road, 1 rep away. They'll stand it up and get to the finish mat, and it'll be just enough. At 16 minutes, they'll take the heat, they'll take the event. The team 1 spot out, entering the day, 2 spots out, entering the day, picking up 100 points. Norte Redondela entered today 9th, just 16 points outside of the top 4. And they'll lose another position because in lane number 9, it's going to be Take Control that'll edge them out by about a second. As there's the dog pile for Norte Redondela. Final 30 seconds.
That was a dog fight to the end.
And that's with a dog pile for the 3rd place team. Final couple of reps in lane number 4 for CrossFit Riviera. Final couple of reps for Galileo in lane number 3. Galileo with the male athlete in that off-color shirt. White shirt on the right side of the screen for Riviera. And neither will be able to get in under the time cap. And I'm not sure who's going to take the 5th position unofficially in the event, it'll be either of those two teams, but we had our second, third, and fourth finishers in this event, including our event winners, CrossFit Valley Road, in at 16 minutes flat.
We were wondering if they were going to be able to finish stronger in the events than they did yesterday. I think they just answered that question.
Ask and you shall receive. They have been able to close out this event, and they needed just about every second of that interval they built in that first split.
And so we had the leaders from the Wolfpack come out. We were kind of looking at to see what they were going to do. They did a really great job, decisive in their synchronization to start with, going back on the bike again. They were doing good, just kind of staying in their own lane. But as the event progressed, we saw the Wolfpack just kind of make a decisive move. And once they made that move, it was in the first part of the event, and then the second part of the event, they held on to it really, really well, making sure not to get sucked into the deep end of the pool by the fact that Redondela and the Take Control CrossFit were kind of chasing him down. They stuck to their guns, stuck to their rep scheme, and that's what gave them the win.
And the 7th seed out of Africa Middle East region might be seeing themselves in the top 4 going into event number 4. Your event 3 winners are with Nikki Brazier.
You guys were cruising in the end, and we saw you. You looked like you were just having a blast on the bike. You got off it so fast. You looked so fresh. How much did that extra time? How important was that extra time when you got to the deadlift bar?
So we knew we had a lot of time going into the last part of the workout. We've practiced this workout thoroughly, and we're pretty confident knowing we're going to get a top 3 in this one. Yeah.
Well, you still have a few events left. How confident are you feeling about the ones coming up here?
Well, we'll take one at a time. We're not really going to look too far ahead.
You guys did a great job. Way to start off the day. Nice work.
Ten seconds. Stand by.
Now you're gone.
And we are off. 40 worm thrusters, 40 burpees over the worm, followed by 30 worm thrusters and 30 burpees over the worm.
With your pictures hanging on the wall.
The teams will perform 20 of their first repetitions on the first section on the floor, and then advance the worm to the next section to complete their second set of 20. The same thing applies to the burpees, and once we get to the second round where we're doing 30 and 30 on the repetitions, the teams will advance the worm every 15 reps.
Damos comienzo a este cuarto evento. El funcionamiento es sencillo, un 4-time con un time cap de 12 minutos en el cual van a tener que hacer 40 thrusters con el gusano, 40 burpees por encima del gusano, todo sincronizado, seguido de 30 thrusters con el gusano y 30 burpees sobre el gusano, sincronizados en todo momento. Destacar que el récord del evento lo tiene Invictus X en los West Regionals con un tiempo total de 8 minutos y 2 segundos.
These teams, after one day of competition, were placed from 21st to 30th. And the best teams in the heat are always on those middle lanes, ladies and gentlemen, those 4 blue lanes on the middle of the floor. Hold your best teams and also later on the individuals of a given heat.
Realize my love, we were strong, and I miss you here, now you're gone.
Destacar también que este evento lo han conseguido finalizar 86 equipos de 175. Por lo tanto, la probabilidad de finalizarlo es más alta que, por ejemplo, en el evento número 3.
Crazy, now you're gone, now you're gone. Realize my love, we were strong, and I miss you here, now you're gone.
Now we have the first team on the burpees. It's lane 3, Lavi. All the team members have to be down at the bottom with their thighs and chest touching the ground before the athletes can come up and jump over that worm. All of the athletes must use a 2 feet takeoff for their jump.
Tenemos a 3 equipos adelantados. Calle número 3, camisetas azules y camisetas grises, Lavi. Equipo en la calle número 6, Mad Hunters, con las camisetas grises, y 962 Avengers en la calle número 7.
And it's going to be Lavi, the first team, advancing their worm for their second set of 20 burpees. We're coming up on 5 minutes. The time cap is 12 minutes for this event number 4 here. For this first heat, and all the rest of the heats as well are going to have that same time cap. That worm weighs 358 pounds, so that is approximately 162 kilograms. And it's divided into 4 sections. The front section, the first one, is 100 pounds. The second section is 70 pounds. The third section is 100 pounds again, and the last one is again 70 pounds. There's a few filler bags in between to add up to that 358 pound total.
Ya hemos dicho que el récord del evento lo tiene Invictus X. Vamos a decir en qué tiempos terminaron cada sección. Los primeros 40 thrusters de gusano en 1 minuto y 37 segundos. Los primeros 40 burpees en 4 minutos y 22 segundos. Los siguientes 30 thrusters en 6 minutos y finalizaron los 30 burpees en 8 minutos y 2 segundos.
Lane number 3, Lavi, getting their first set of burpees done, and they get ready to advance their worm to the next section on the floor to begin their 30 worm thrusters, 15 at each one of these sections on the floor here for Lavi, lane 3.
Como ya se demostró en los regionales del año pasado, el gusano es el examen, la prueba, el test de coordinación y de sincronización del equipo. Aquí es donde se demuestra cuando un equipo está realmente sincronizado.
Lane number 7, 962 Avengers down to their last reps. They're getting ready to advance their worm, and so is 21-15-9 team on lane 4. So coming from that round of 40s, Lavi leading the way, lane 3. 21-15-9 team and Mad Hunters rounding out the top 3.
El equipo de 21-15-9 consigue colocarse en tercera posición. Le precede en la calle número 6 Mad Hunters.
Lane number 3, Lobby, holding on to the lead here as 21-15-9 team is the second team to advance their worm to that last set of 15 worm thrusters, and Mad Hunters on lane 6 rounding out that top 3 in the heat currently here.
El equipo de 21-15-9 está siguiendo una estrategia y parece que les está funcionando. Vamos a ver si consiguen mantener ese ritmo. Pero el equipo de Lavi en la calle número 3 va en cabeza.
Lobby still in the lead, 21-15-9 team on lane 4. Holding on to the second spot, but there are 3 other teams trying to catch them, and they're fighting for that 3rd place in the heat. CrossFit Kind lane 8, Mad Hunters on lane 6, and CrossFit Minimes on lane 5. Less than 2 minutes to go.
El equipo de 21-15-9 consigue ponerse en segunda posición en este hit. La tercera posición la tienen Mad Hunters en la calle número 6, camiseta gris.
One minute to go before the time cap, as Lobby has 15 more burpees to do.
Vamos chicos, últimos segundos, 35 segundos. Cada repetición que podáis hacer.
30 seconds. This is the second event for the teams here today. Make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Help these teams finish strong here. Day 2, 10 seconds to go. Come on, keep it coming. 3, 2, 1. And he's going to be Lobby, lane 3, taking the heat. They just got their last burpee done, but did not quite make it across the line within the time. So all the work is done for these teams for today. 10 seconds. Stand by.
This is America.
Here we go, heat number 2. The score to beat is all the burpees done on that second round, so the 30s.
What I'm whipping up. This is America. Don't got to flipping up.
If we're looking at the movement standard for these worm thrusters, all of the team members must be at the bottom position at the same time. All of their hip creases need to be below the top of their knee. And then coming up, they have to push press that worm over their head, so they cannot re-bend their knees once the worm has left their shoulders. As the worm touches on the other side of the shoulder, the team will be accredited 1 repetition.
Atentos al ritmo y a la coordinación que tiene el equipo de Canarias Team en la calle número 4. Por ahora solo les han dado 2 no reps.
Which of these 9 teams will be the first one to advance to the burpees? Most of these teams working neck and neck here on those 40 worm thrusters. CrossFit Aliath, lane 6, their judge's hand is up in the air. That means they have 5 or less reps remaining. On lane 8, Team Turicum is going to be the first team to advance. So lane 8, Team Turicum taking the lead here in this heat 2.
Se adelanta el Team Turicum con camiseta blanca en la calle número 8. Les sigue en segundo puesto CrossFit Aliot en la calle número 6, camiseta negra de tirantes.
So right now, after those first 40 thrusters, lane 6, 7, and 8 holding on to those top 3 spots in the heat. CrossFit Aliot, Full Spray Sharks, and Team Turicum.
CrossFit Las Rozas consigue ponerse por delante de Canarias Team. El equipo de Canarias tiene problemas para coordinar la sentadilla, el thruster en la sentadilla.
Lane number 8, Team Turicum, getting ready to advance their worm for that second set of 20.
Volvemos a facilitaros información. 86 equipos de 175, en estas 2 semanas han conseguido finalizar este evento con éxito. Esta fase, la fase de los 40 burpees, justo ahora es el momento en el que Invictus X la finalizó.
After 20 burpees, Team Turicum leading the way, and lane 6 and 7, Full Space Sharks and CrossFit Aliath moving side by side here, fighting for that second spot in the heat. And CrossFit Las Rozas, lane 5, not far behind. So it's Turicum 1, Full Space Sharks 2, CrossFit Aliath 3, and Las Rozas 4 in the heat at the moment.
Canarias Team consigue subir una posición. Podéis ver cómo el punto de sincronización en los burpees es cuando el pecho está tocando el suelo, el pecho de los 4 miembros. ¡6 minutos! Os recordamos que son 12 minutos de time cap. Estamos justo en la mitad.
Team Turicum, lane 8, already on those worm thrusters again. 15 at this first station, and then to round out their 30, they will have to do another set of 15 on that next station. And lane number 5, CrossFit Las Rosas, their judge's hand is in the air. CrossFit Alias, lane 6 also, judge's hand in the air. We are 7 minutes in to this team event number 4. The time cap is 12 minutes, and the score to beat from the previous heat is all the burpees done on that round of 30, but that team did not make it to the finish mat in time. And lane number 8, Turicum holding on to that lead. They're already done with their 15 thrusters. Lane number 7, Falls Bay Sharks advancing their worm. They are now holding on to that second place in the heat as Kaizen CrossFit Lyon has come from behind, and they are now holding on to that third spot in the heat, and Beer Season Red Wine now rounding out your top 4.
Parece que la lucha por los primeros puestos está entre Falls Bay Sharks, Team Turicum, que van adelantados del resto, y Kaizen CrossFit Lyon.
Lane number 7, Falls Bay Sharks looking really, really strong with the worm. Their team chemistry working really well, as Team Turicum only has 30 more burpees to go to finish the event here. And now second place in the heat is Kaizen CrossFit Lyon. So after the second set of thrusters, it is Team Turicum lane 8 leading the way, and Kaizen CrossFit Lyon second spot. Falls Bay Sharks lane 7 holding on to that third place in the heat. As we have less than 30 burpees to go for these top teams in the heat now. 10 minutes has passed. Lane number 8, Team Turicum, ready to advance the worm for the final time for the last 15 burpees.
Vamos a animar al equipo de CrossFit de Canarias Team que consiga adelantar a CrossFit Las Rozas.
We have 1 minute to go.
Último minuto. A la derecha, calles número 8 y 9, CrossFit Lyon y Team Turicum.
So this is a fight between Team Turicum and Kaizen CrossFit Lyon. Team Turicum lane 8 down to the last 5 repetitions. 30 seconds to go. 20 seconds to go, and Team Turicum setting the new time to beat at 11 minutes and 45 seconds. 10 seconds to go. Last few reps for Kaizen CrossFit Lyon. 3, 2, 1. And CrossFit Lyon just making it across the line. But it is Team Turicum that takes the heat and sets the new time to beat. Right now, as we're getting ready to head towards our final heat, let's take a quick look at the overall standings after 3 events. Leading the way with 250 points is Cape CrossFit Wolfpack. Second place, CrossFit Valley Road with 248 points, so only 2 points separating the teams. Third place.
Welcome back to Caja Mágica in Madrid, Spain, as we're ready to close out the second day of team competition at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Meridian Regional. And this crowd's been into it for their teams that they're supporting here on day number 2. Brandon Domain, Mads Jakobsen, and Nikki Brazier with you. And we typically call day number 2 moving day, and it's with good reason because we saw 8 of the top 10 positions switch in event number 3 earlier today. As atop the leaderboard, it continues to be Cape CrossFit Wolfpack, but that big lead has shrunk down to just 2 over Valley Road, who jumped up 4 spots into second place. Riviera team still holding on to third. Take Control is up into 4th with 100 points still on the line today.
And so the event that we have ahead of us right here is event number 4. It's 4-time, 40 worm thrusters, 40 worm burpees, 30 worm thrusters, followed by 30 worm burpees, and the time cap is 12 minutes.
And the next 10 teams to take on this challenge, which only 2 teams have beaten the cap thus far, will include the points leaders Cape CrossFit Wolfpack in lane number 5, but 3 teams moved up 4 spots. Up to 5th is CrossFit Norte Redondela in lane 1. Take Control in lane 9, moved up to 4th. And moving up to 2nd is CrossFit Valley Road in lane number 8.
Valley Road did a great job of a comeback right here. We talked to them, and they were kind of looking forward to the to event number 3. They also felt comfortable with event number 4, so I'm looking forward for them to go out there and execute. I'm also looking forward to getting a look at Take Control Elite Competitor. They did move really, really well, and they were kind of in contention all day yesterday as well. So the question is whether they're going to follow that up by chasing down the pack, so to speak, again, or if they're going to go out there today and be complacent with the move that they already made.
Second of 3 events this weekend, we'll be seeing the worm. What do these teams need to do to have a good result on this second appearance of this implement?
Well, there are a couple of things I think they need to think about. One is a game plan for the thrusters. Obviously, the rep scheme is already kind of set. What I mean by a game plan is when things go south, what do we do? Who's in charge? Who decides what we do and where we go from here? The second thing is patience on the burpees. Make sure that the entire team has hit the deck before you start moving. Once you start getting up and start moving, and if it's no rep, it's just a lot of unnecessary time. Not necessarily fatigue, but time. And then clean reps. Making sure that these judges don't have to interpret your movement patterns so that every rep counts.
Now, typically you'll see a heat where there's some kind of a favorite that has a very good control with the worm, as we see a couple of teams getting hit with no reps early on in the second half of this set of 40. But here in heat number 3, 9 of the 10 teams in this heat were in the top 10 the last time we saw the worm yesterday.
Exactly. So they've had exposure to the worm already. They kind of know what it feels like if they haven't had this exact worm in their box to practice on, and that means a lot. So I'm kind of expecting these teams to do very well here as well. That being said, it's a different event.
One of the teams that moved up 4 positions earlier today from 9th to 5th, just 6 points out of those 4 qualifying spots, is Norte Redondela, and they're the first team to advance the worm to the burpee section at the 2-minute mark.
And we were talking to, a little bit earlier in the warm-up area, we were talking to the coach from CrossFit Wolfpack, and he was saying that he was expecting Norte Redondela to do very well. It's a team that he knows is going to be a very potent competitor.
Second place team is going to be Team Riviera in the bottom blue lane, lane number 4, and on the top blue lane in lane number 7, Team Crash, one of the teams that fell. In fact, they fell the most out of any of the team here in this heat, from 4th to 10th in the point standings, 52 points back.
And it looked like it was the deadlifts that kept giving Team Crash a bit of a challenge. They got out there off the bikes really fast. They did good on those, but the synchronization and just the weight, I mean, they're not the heaviest athletes out there. Whereas CrossFit Norte Redondela, whom we see right here in the picture, they came off to a blistering pace on the second, on the last leg of event number 3.
They hold a 8-second advantage getting to the burpees over the second place team Riviera, who enter this event in 3rd, 14 points clear of 5th place Norte Redondela.
And it's interesting to see these teams right here. There are too many no reps for my liking right now. I'd like them to just settle in. I know that they're all trying to make a big move. It is Biz Moving Day. We talked about it before. But at the same time, you need to have, like I talked about, the patience on the burpees. This is not where you want to get no rep. It's a fairly easy movement. All you need to make sure is everybody's on the deck at the same time.
1 rep remains for Norte Redondela on the first half of the set of 40. And joining them, basically in a virtual tie at this point, will be Riviera team. Norte Redondela will advance the worm first. They'll do this every time they clear the halfway point or complete a round within whichever movement. So 20 burpees down, 20 burpees remain in the round of 40. Now the issue here, I believe, is that the worm shifted far enough towards the edge of the lane for Riviera team. You have to have one hand, one foot inside your lane, and I think that was becoming a little bit difficult. Maybe had that foot go wide because of where that worm was positioned.
Exactly. I mean, there are a lot more logistical elements that you need to think about here than when you practice this at home in your box, which also means that sometimes the times that you put up in your box may not be the ones that you can actually get out here on the floor. That being said, I like the way that Riviera handled that. Just calmly, one person talking to the judge and the rest of the team just waiting for instructions. That's the way it needs to be.
Time to beat here came from heat number 2 with Team Turicum at 11 minutes and 45 seconds. Kaizen CrossFit Lyon were waiting on the official result there. They crossed the line, I believe, just ahead of the time cap. If they did, it would probably be 11:59.99 seconds would be their time. It was very close. So we either have 1 or 2 teams that were able to beat the time cap in our first 2 heats.
And I mean, I think these teams are doing good, and I'd like to see some of them finish it. I think we are going to see some of them finishing it. There's definitely the potential to do so and the capacity to do so. One of the things that happens in a team, which is kind of, well, it's a challenge basically, and how you deal with that is up to every individual team. But as fatigue sets in, communication starts breaking down, and the team that navigates their way around that the fastest. It is going to happen in some degree in all teams, but the team who does that the fastest is going to win.
And just to clarify, to get word, just 1 team able to be the cap, so it's more like 12 minutes 00.1 seconds for Kaizen CrossFit Lyon, if that was possible. So Just one of 18 teams have beaten the time cap thus far, and it is going to be a virtual tie yet again, coming away from the burpees into the thrusters for Riviera in lane number 4 on the right side of the screen, Norte Redondela in lane number 1 on the left side of the screen, as they both advance that worm right about the 6-minute mark.
And the difference between the two teams is that Norte Redondela is just a little bit faster on the thrusters, but once it gets to the burpees, they've been, up until this point, been a little bit slower. That may have been deliberate, though, that they've been saving themselves so they can sprint and answer any kind of challenge like the one they're facing right now from Riviera.
23 seconds behind those lead two teams are these two teams racing for third. On the left, it's CrossFit Valley Road, who moved up from 6th to 2nd, 20 points clear of 5th place in event number 3. And on the right side of the screen in lane number 10, Team White City, the team that fell from 10th to 14th, but still just 62 points away from those 4 qualifying spots.
And we had a chat with Valley CrossFit right here after the previous event. And they said that they haven't had a worm, so they built their own worm, but they felt like they were getting used to this worm now, and they felt really confident.
15 reps down, 15 remains for Riviera team. And they're going to have about a 2 or 3 rep advantage, make it a 4 rep advantage over Norte Redondela, who just got another no rep. But this is an awkward point to break in this final set of 15. We'll normally see some teams walk that worm over, drop it, and then try to go 15 unbroken. It was 5 unbroken to start this final set of 15 for Riviera team.
And once again, the Riviera team right here making sure that one athlete is the one in charge of the conversation with the judge, just nodding and then relaying that information. I like that. It's just very efficient. And who knew the Swiss can be efficient?
Norte Redondela in 2nd, Riviera team in 1st. Left and right on the screen respectively, as we're 4 minutes away from our 12-minute time cap. The thrusters complete. The burpees await Riviera team. They advance the worm at 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
And as I said a second ago, the Riviera team had looked really good on the burpees, making sure that everybody was in sync, everybody hit the deck at the same time. So it looked like they saved a little bit, went a little bit faster on the set of 30 thrusters than they did on the set of 40.
They're starting to pull away from the field here in heat number 3. Again, the time to beat, 11 minutes, 45 seconds. That's about 3 minutes away. As final 5 reps, I believe that's 1 rep remaining for Team White City out of Tel Aviv, Israel. And they will be the 2nd team to advance at 8:50, so make it a 35-second interval, 1st to 2nd, getting to the burpees in the final round of 30.
And that's White City right here.
3rd place team is going to be Valley Road. So the team that's got the most momentum here on day number 2, continuing to sit in a pretty solid place, 3rd in the heat.
Now taking the 2nd place here is CrossFit Valley Road, lane 8. They have to
This can still turn into a really good fight. I'd love to see Valley Road just that, and there they go. They're saying they take a breather. I want to see them keep on going. Hold on to that momentum, and they are now.
Norte Redondela moving the worm into the burpee section for the final round of 30. They had some issues getting that placed well into the lane, and that might cost them a little bit of time. 1st and 2nd on the screen. On the left, Riviera team, the 1st place team, getting to the burpees in the final round. 2nd place, White City on the right side. But only 15 reps remain for Riviera team. Again, that time to beat a little under 2 minutes away. And Riviera team, they've made the money here on this event on the burpees.
Oh, they really just need to hold on right now. One of the athletes is taking a big breather, and he's just going to have to dig a little bit deeper. I think that's Marek Biegler. Marek has been to the regionals as an individual athlete 5 times, so his first time on a team, so he knows how to dig deep.
35-second lead cut down to only about 20 seconds through the first 15 burpees as White City is starting to hit the accelerator. They'll have to make up a 5 rep differential though, getting to those final set of 15 as just 5 reps remain now for Riviera team. And they have been consistent all weekend long thus far with an 8th, a 2nd, and a 5th. They're having an issue with the no rep. They're going to have to communicate, get this ball going again because we are nearing the final 5 reps for Team White City.
And White City are on a tear. Really, really great sprint by White City right now.
1 minute until the time cap. And Riviera is going to have just enough in the tank as they will take the event at 11 minutes and 4 seconds, their first event win of the weekend. Team White City comes in 5 seconds behind.
Great finish here by White City. I got to tell you, I'm impressed with the speed that they were busting out the last burpees. It's not easy to get all those moving parts moving at the same time at the end of an event.
Final 30 seconds, 3 teams racing for third in the heat. May still be good for third in the event. The leader out of that on the top side of the screen is Valley Road as they're in the final 5 reps. 1 lane below them is Team Crash. Norte Redondela on the near side of the screen, also in this fight for third. It'll be good for third in the heat, not third in the event. Give it 4th place in the event for Valley Road, who continue a very strong day number 2. And we'll have 3 of our 10 teams in our final heat in under the time cap, led by your event winners for the first time this weekend. Riviera team is a team out of Switzerland that has a solid spot into the top 4 going into our final day.
They did a really, really good job of executing this. They took it easy, a little bit easier on the thrusters initially, made it up on the burpees, answered any call that was made that way. But once they got onto the last burpees, it was go time.
This is the scene we've had for the past 3 weeks at the end of this event, and at the end of this day, that is absolutely just thrashing the legs of these athletes in the team competition.
Oh, but it really is, and the thing that we forget is that it's the synchronization and having to adapt your movement patterns to 3 other individuals. That's the hard part. It's not going out there doing these reps on your own. You can do that any day of the week, but synchronizing that with everybody else to make sure that worm moves as one, that's the challenge.
We're going to wait a little bit for this interview with the Riviera team because they're still trying to catch their breath at the end of this one. And 3 of them are up, and here we go with the 4th. But until we get to that interview, let's take a look at how this played out.
Well, so the Riviera team did a really, really great job. They came out and they executed very, very well initially, making sure that everybody hit the deck at the same time. And as I said, had one person in charge of communicating with the judge and then relaying that information to the rest of the team. Initially, they were a little bit slower on the thrusters, but did great on the burpees. Once they came to the 30 thrusters, increased the speed just a little bit, and that kind of got them out ahead, a decisive lead. Got them onto the burpees ahead of everybody else. A great finish.
And it was a 6-second win in the event to hold that top 4 position going into the final day. Riviera team is with Nikki Brazier.
We needed a minute to just kind of catch our breaths. You guys, that's right. Start breathing again. Now, let me ask you, we saw so many teams break down in terms of communication, lots of no reps when you didn't know if you were all down on the burpees or anything. That's right. What did you do to make sure that you didn't have that problem? You were able to cross the finish line first.
Sorry, I didn't understand your question because of the echo.
Speaker, let me ask you again. How did you guys plan your communication with each other?
Yeah. So he was speaking because so the 2 can hear him, and I was just following. So if he would squat, I would squat.
That's a good plan. Now you have a big cheering section that planted themselves, hung flags and everything. How did that help you, motivate you to get to the finish faster?
Actually, the first time I didn't realize it was them because there was so many people. I didn't expect it for them to be like so much coming from Switzerland. So that's awesome.
Great turnout and a great way to start your day. Great job, guys.
So Riviera team, they entered the day in 3rd. They still stayed in 3rd going into the 4th event, but it looks like they might be moving up the leaderboard with their first event win of the weekend. So the teams are done on day number 2. They've got 1 day remaining coming up tomorrow, but still 2 days left for the individuals as day number 2 is coming up next.